Middle managers are going to be the leadership group most directly interacting with the younger generation of employees. We are on the cusp of entering the first ever free agent era of workers in Japanese history, as the population decline ensures that the young are in super demand. The young will have the whip hand. The people who are going to ensure they stay with you rather than leave for the rival's firm will be your middle managers. I hope these middle managers of yours understand what this demographic shift will mean for the way they lead others. Welcome back to this weekly edition every Tuesday of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, President of Dale Carnegie Training Japan and best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery. We're bringing the show to you from our High Performance Center here in Akasaka in Minato-ku, the business center of Tokyo. Why the cutting edge? In this show, we are looking at the critical areas for success in business in Japan. We want to help advance everyone's thinking so that we can be at the forefront, the cutting edge of how to flourish here in this market. Before we get into this week's topic, here is what caught my attention lately. There's been a 50% rise in the number of single mother households in Japan from 1992 to 2016, increasing to 712,000. The child poverty rate is 56% for working single-parent households in Japan, the highest in the OECD, and compared to 32% in the US. 1 in 7 children in Japan experiences poverty. These children of single mothers are on average poorer, less educated, and have fewer prospects. Japan is one of the 10 wealthiest countries in the world. So you have to ask yourself, how can this be possible? This is episode number 44, and we are talking about middle managers are your firm's lifeblood. Soredewa ikimashou. So let's get going. They are looking for a place where they are highly valued, feel they are needed, and are praised for being useful to others. Professor of Social Psychology at Rissho University in Tokyo, Kimiaki Nishida, was quoted in the local media commenting on why young people join terrorist groups like Aum Shinrikyo or the Islamic State. I was struck by the similarities to the problems confronting middle managers in Japan dealing with millennials and the generations coming behind them. Japan is facing a crisis with succession planning. This is driven by a demographic pivot where the number of young people entering the workforce will decline faster and faster, while the demand for their services will skyrocket. The social and political debate about immigration to curb this demographic spiral downwards hasn't even begun yet. Anti-Korean groups have paraded through areas in Tokyo and Osaka, populated with a high concentration of Koreans, promulgating hate speech and screaming for these Koreans, mostly second, third, and fourth generation locals, to leave. Full-scale open immigration is not an option yet to reverse current trends. The Japanese birth rate is in no danger of improving either, as family sizes stay small and couples become parents much later. McKinsey's late 1990s study, The War for Talent, does that ring a bell with anyone? Go back and take a look at it. Middle managers are often the direct reporting line for these millennials, and yet the generation gap is vast. This is the fax and PC generation sitting across grey metal desks from their app and iPhone successors. One generation remembers basking in the warm embrace of the bubble hedonistic extravaganza. The other has only known shivering in the cold turmoil of the bubble burst, the Lehman shock, and the triple whammy of earthquake, massive tsunami, and nuclear reactor core meltdowns, spewing radioactive fallout over the Tohoku and Kanto regions. The millennials' emotional mix is about to become even more complex. There will be slowly taking place one of the greatest wealth transfers in history, as the older generation of Japanese, who are massively cashed up compared to previous generations of retirees, pass their wealth on to their kids. The Japanese tax office is salivating, already expanding inheritance tax brackets so they can harvest this wealth migration. They are ravenous too. Find out more when we come back from the break. If you want to be successful as a leader, do the Leadership Training for Managers course. All companies need people who can both manage and lead. Leading people screams out for real skills in communication, dealing with all different types of people, being excellent at innovation, planning, delegation, handling mistakes, doing performance reviews really well, and inspiring and motivating the team. Do the Leadership Training for Managers course now in either Japanese or English. The bestseller, Japan Sales Mastery, is the new Bible of selling in Japan. To sell to Japanese buyers, you need to create long-term partner-level trust, fully understand Japanese buyers' real needs, convince buyers with your solutions, overcome their hesitation, fear and doubt, know how to ask for the order, ensure repeat orders. This book is the product of 30 plus years in the trenches selling in Japan. Order Japan Sales Mastery now. Welcome back. Ironically, this wealth transfer could gradually dial down some of the career progression concerns previous generations confronted. The increasing affordability of housing will be driven by population decline. Gradually, providing a greater sense of security to this younger generation. So a bigger cash buffer, a greater sense of security, instant digital access to information, diminished worker supply, and so less career urgency, produces confronting new attitudes. How do you motivate them? Paraphrasing Professor Nishida, the young want love, not old-style Japanese leadership tough love. The highly valued component certainly conforms with our global research, validated in Japan, that feeling valued was the key emotional trigger to becoming more engaged about your work. If you feel more engaged, you are more motivated, loyal, and likely to be innovative. Crunch time. Are your middle management tuned in to these critical messages? Are they having boss-subordinate conversations, performance reviews, and coaching interactions which genuinely communicate, we value you here, we need you, we really appreciate you? Sounds a bit fluffy to you? Official statistics tell us that in 30% of workplaces, that is not happening sufficiently to stop millennials in their third and fourth years of work from walking out the door to supposed greener pastures. The cost of their departure to the organisation is huge. After 3 or 4 years of investment, the company should be reaping the productivity dividend from the efforts to educate them about the business and the company. That investment is out the window. There is the additional sting of the opportunity cost to replace them and train up their successor. They are probably going to your competitor as well. Ouch, and double ouch, because it is only going to get worse. Hello to all the recruiters watching out there who are super ready to move them to another company. Firms are foolish if they don't do something now about better educating their leaders, especially frontline supervisors and middle managers. Highly inconveniently, millennials are never on your timetable. Action steps: 1, understand there is a need to prepare now for a looming war for talent. 2, expect dealing with millennials to become more difficult as there are fewer levers available to influence them. 3, educate supervisors and middle managers about the need to communicate you are valued to millennials. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show is here to help you succeed in Japan. Subscribe on YouTube, share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Become a regular. Thank you for watching this episode, and remember to hit the subscribe button. Our website details are on screen now, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com. It is awesome value, so check it out. In episode 45, we are talking about few presentations are clear enough. Find out more about that next week. So, yoroshiku onegai itashimasu. Please join me for the next episode of the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. We are here to help you, and we have only one direction in mind for you and your business, and that is up.